다 드린 가서 디체와제 다 녀메 더 수제 전된데 진짜만 린데라니 지중콜로 토마고 이거 녀모데르데요래 대인자 디니 몬델라니 자시미니 몬델라 능가롱이네 참말라니 자시데르 쉬야이드니
So as you know, today is a very special or auspicious day which mark the Lord Buddha's first turning of the wheel of Dharma. So on this special day, so I'll send my warm greeting to everyone.
다 데리가 저 대텐지 마디 룬지 나오지. 아니 디셰 제와제제 아니 디칼라다 잘라팔 데 디셰 제와제 데 잘라팔 기데도와 뭔지가 저다 잘라팔 친친이 지고요래. 아니 델러 기데요레스.
So it's rather a good auspicious coincidence that this special day falls on the Wednesday night, when, on our teaching night. So it's really a great day for us to begin the teachings.
티마체 다 데링가서 다 드니 디세니 좀데 티마체 디노랑 가서 드리다 지사바시 시크로와 다 진세 사바시 드니 고추거래 대인사 당아리 좀 맞지나네 디스 드니야 보나 주수 상무데스.
So I feel that it's a see on just this day, just special auspicious day, just fall on exactly on this our not only on our usual Wednesday teaching night, but also the night I'm supposed to commence the teaching on the new topic, which very profound topic on of the Lamrim.
대인사다 가서 시기 전다 디세다 저 강가야 보진 zon데요래. 다 농기 전다 나ring이네라. 아니 다 somba 다 미네 지바 페이지 투나 손에. 아니 somba비 고타닥 바치치 지치잖아마. 대들이다 너와 말레이. 저런저 냥냥이네 이나요. 아니 그런 야 보시지로 나선 쉬어야지.
So just as the externally, so we all have a very favorable conditions for Dharma practice, and likewise the internally also we need to ensure that we have the right factors for listening or to teaching the dharmas. So I would do my best to ensure that the motivations for giving this teaching is pure one, and also please you also to in listening to these profound teachings, so ensure that you also have a pure intentions for listening to the teachings.
대우다 뭐 그런 데라니다 소소 대완 대화도 누가 문제 받대 나지가 아니 세제 도제 좀 롱돈라와 아니 대완 대화도 누가 문제 받래 손에 드니지 토마송 받든지 계야 계치 뭐 인사래서.
So just to arise these proper motivations, so just think that how just as we do not want sufferings, and but want only happiness. So likewise, all the sentient beings, all other sentient beings are also same in wanting happiness, but not wanting any sufferings.
다 진짜 드니 인사네 다론이 수지지 공부지 토소나 아니 예세제 도제 존에 타와도 도제 지미 공부랑게 비 니빠지다 드니지 레고 예자 네다 세제도제다 타와도 도지 준비고 공부를 더 배시다 내가 나 로니 수지지 공부 더 시작한데 대용다 다 수지지 산도 런도 좀 받지 되고 와이자 대라 로주면은 용거요 말이 제장 안에 드리가 더 바샤위체다 다 단다가 로르가 진예서 그 이념비가 네 그런 단어지 그나드네 보여레스
So our motivation for listening or teaching Dharma is to benefit all sentient beings, and but in practical sense, so we would only have a full capacity to reach out or to benefit all sentient beings if we ourselves attain this state of Buddhahood. So therefore, in cultivating this motivation, so we should have trying to generate a sincere wish to achieve the complete enlightenment or the state of Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings, and then in order to achieve the complete state of enlightenment, then we must follow the path, the spiritual path, which will lead us to that complete enlightenment, and so therefore, just to include in our motivations for listening to this or studying these teachings, so is really to find out, to learn about this path, and so that we can, and then to contemplate on this path and then meditate on this path. So which are all necessaries, So you have to begin the path first from studying about the path. So we are doing this, studying this. So in order to, as a cause to achieve complete enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings.
영다 가서 지체냐 사바 가시가 아니 농비 주네라 세제라 던제라니 샴바강도 니제고 하신 네 손대자 다 세제다 네 드릴라 샴바도 니제고인데 거이나 마로이 가르치고 그러세네 드니 가시 드니 손네 드니 예사레 될라니 세제고 말했어.
And so as we focus or direct our practice, such as in even right from the beginning to in cultivating the proper motivations. So we, our focus is really on benefiting other sentient beings, and it is why we want to achieve the complete enlightenment. It is also to benefiting other sentient beings. So there's a lot of the focus of our practice is based on really love and compassion for all other sentient beings. So as we do this, as we generate such a feeling of love and compassion for other sentient beings, so it is also at the same time it is possible that at the deep down or at the back of our mind, then we must say to ourselves, or whatever myself, or we might have some sort of concern about our own well-being, and so really we don't need to worry about this our own welfare. Really, when we follow this this great path of Mahayana.
가르에서는 찌라니 예대된 로소나 로데 숄런 저 용거레스. 이파텔라니다 아니 숑바도 니제 강바존지 소소 세 데오다 아니 지보 아니 드니 걸 내트요레스.
So we don't need to really have to worry about about our own welfare. We should not have a thought saying what about me, and because first of all this is because when we accomplish the welfare of other sentient being, then the welfare of our own self will be accomplished automatically, or just side by side, and that's one. Then secondly, when we cultivate or fill our mind with really a great loving kindness and compassion for all other sentient beings, such a good heart towards all other sentient beings, then as a result, then we it will be the assured that we have a happiness as well.
아니 셈바 레레다 아니 시부지슈나 아니 소시 리포트 되오진 거래서 나살아서 보면은 배나니 셈바 군로 따파르지트 사딩이지나 아니 델라티 초나살레와도 드니 우소르가 나살레와도 다 나초티 디소 노치네 마제 아니 세리발아서 비고 온데 시작을 그랬어.
So the love and compassion so really brings about the mental peace and happiness within us, and so therefore, and when we have the mental peace and happiness, then this will naturally even make our physical well-being also to be very healthy and healthy one, and so in terms of how on the contraries, how we are, if we are mentally so stressed and very restless, and then this can have a detriment effect on our health. Even it can, like we now even scientifically it's been known that even the high blood pressures and some other physical ailments are really related to causally related to our mental stress and so forth.
제자다 니제도 숑바 공베네 네 파슈텔라 네 센제텔라 카투 페마토나야 소소 셈바텔라 네 카투 마페토가 윤고야 셈바시보텔 렐레든지 윤고르 테소소 숑바도 니제 고네 바 제와시나요 알아서 하고 타야시레스.
And besides, when we show love and compassion towards other sentient beings, and then as a result, we don't bring any benefit to other sentient beings, directly benefit other sentient beings, or make any immediate difference to the other sentient beings, but we can, however, we can understand, we can recognize that this has the love and compassion that we generate within us towards others have a immediate benefit for ourselves in terms of the enhancing peace and happiness within ourselves.
제자 페나네 다 중시노랑가 저티 뭐 가지에 된다 뭐 사야만 보던 놈 데르데 이나야 가지에 비지보고 나타나 되겠더니 뭐 보여르식도 아니 다 난조바까지 했더니 이런걸 비뭐 체코로 이런걸 걸어 지보 되고 그랬대 이나요 다 셈바테는 디싱에나지 요레스 다소 강가 아니 수조 생가 아니 소노지 또 떠나는 레기요 그래서
So if we take into account of the how in the world, there are some people who are living in a very a big a town, big cities, and among millions of people, and yet they greatly suffer, like isolation and loneliness, and then on the other hand, we could have some the yogi or meditators who live alone in a solitude place, but never ever undergo this suffering of loneliness, and so these situations also example also really clearly shows out that how our mental attitudes makes a difference to how we what we experience emotionally.
다 드리네 중 아주 잘라봐 거인을 아주 냥다니 로주시에 저거다 로르데 가르는잖아 민지 로르딘 산텔라 아니 쇼주 로르 마티 냥라스네 아니 드리수 this.
So now so from today, so we'll begin this the teaching on the Lamrim text. So which is the title of the text is the quick path, to omniscience, which is a direct or a practical guide to the stages of the path to enlightenment.
대원다 로런데 좀바부터 서리세나 아니 벤체 컨티저와 치지잔세 쪽이 유시 네 벤체 컨티가와 네 루즈이 시세이 되게 샤스.
So the author of this Lamrim text, of the quick path, so was the reincarnations of the fifth the fifth Panchen Lama, the Lobsang Chuki Janzens, and so was the author is the fifth in the line of the Panchen Lamas.
네 콩네 다 벤체 지외 네 용실라 네 수행인자 인자마세나 네 구상가와 침비거네 나와지모 로즈장조 쪽이네 아니 유스된 인자 현대스.
So the fifth Panchen Lama, which is the Panchen Lama Lobsang Yeshe, and he he was recognized as the reincarnation of his predecessor, the fourth Panchen Lama, by the fifth, His Holiness Dalai Lamas.
제가 코로나 그때 논라요. 코로나기가 네 장어 근처 접하다. 네 담아니기 그 요소 인자노도스.
So there's the connections there. This Panchen Lama has with His Holiness Dalai Lamas, 50th Dalai Lama, and also then in fact then this fifth Panchen Lama, and then Lobsang Yeshe. So then he actually had the privilege of recognizing the sixth and the seventh His Holiness Dalai Lamas reincarnation.
제자다 코로나기 뭐체가 논라다 그치가 논라니 코로나기는 점샤지거니 대대고 빼셔사지 당초 빼는 대롱라고 말하대 이게 놀라고 빼셔장시 예사레스로와 아니 템발샤와 자침보나야서레스 로마야 아니 다 자와가조 자졸라수비 ning kepa mongbo pe saris.
So, so he, so as a he was a great learned, and as a learned he composed about that, that the text which the about the like four four the bundles of the text which is in a, like a scroll or Tibetan, like as you see in the altar, the Tibetan text, and also so he made a huge the contributions in for the flourishings of the Buddha's teachings, and then he had a great many famous, even a very famous disciples as well.
Chesanga ko ni gulo danji tenga zoji uju sares.
So he lived about like 75 years.
Anta kongita tri kongi zombi ka yun anta shonju lor matra singi tenga zo ne tri ningo zu chenye so keres ra.
So tonight, so we begin his text, the quick part, so which is called as the practical or a direct guide to the stages of the complete enlightenment.
Teonda ngarong ta un sewaina ngarong ta lorndi gata lunda chila supa suisane raurse na kusa chosane ni tani ta lunda trishiwi ni kaozo pochu res.
So I personally, had the privilege to receive the oral and the explanatory, transmissions, of this the Lamrim text from, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lamas.
Ani ta ngazo lijang do tijang singeji ta nombe tani chulu no yore densa ta di ngela ngazo shesha ngi shesha ju kangalo ma ihiti shawarwa ni ngashi sena ni na nye de wala ihita de wana ni pependo chemo de jupa tsano ndis ihe ta jone ta kama kashi ji tsano wa tisha ju ihita tsata jone ani le yapondo sene tadi shegen de sina ina ta chita ne ihel tane ni luji do tiji ta so gangen da wajina ani tene rotho yo mare srwa ihel tane rotho mare luji tiji go wala ichi mechi ani tangi date ma gogo hore sanju no ani tene gangen na date ma nyetna ya boyo resrwa ne me tendo chipo zo ina ne iheta ta dise mengi ne ina no ihel bo ta jona ani krita tendo de akono horwa. So as I'm as part of giving this teaching on this Lamrim, I'm not going to read out this text, line by line, word by word to you. So this is not going to, these teachings that I'm giving is not like in a form of like a transmitting the oral or the explanatory transmissions. So of course, if those, because if to receive this the transmission oral or the explanatory transmission, so then one must hear all the whole text. From someone who's got the transmissions. So it will be, if you ever get that, opportunity, so it will be great to receive such
the oral or the explanatory transmissions. So of course, but without the having received the oral transmission, of course, we can study the text and learn about all the key points of the instructions we find in these texts.
다 드리테 진디 차라네 다 쇼주 로레 마티 냐라세기 요자 아니 다 드리타 디체와질 니 쇼주 사타 도모 쇼주 로라세기 데 쇼주 시비 디제지티 티니미 노주 모데 뜻이 시소나 소소스 노지 데데지 모데 소소스
so in the title of this Lamrim text, so we find the the word, like the full title is the quick path to omniscience, and then the practical guide to the stages of enlightenment. So there is a word, some very important words I would like, such as the enlightenment, or in Tibetan Changchup. And so therefore the before we begin this teaching, so the commentary on this text, so I must give you some introduction to it.
다 대우 쇼주 생에 가르치고 그러잖아. 쇼 생에 되고 녀모 봐도 시지도 몰라서 봐도지 쇼바고 뽕발라고 그래서와 춥 생에 때 아니 시자리 비네 토제 콘트 쳐봐서 드니 그 진짜 그래서
so in the title there's a word the complete enlightenment. I've got a, let me see. Yeah, the path to enlightenment. So we just got a word enlightenment, which in Tibetan language, so is Chang Chup. So there's two words. So Chang, which means to the being purified, or being free of the true, like true obstructions, like the obstructions to liberation and obstructions to omniscience, being free from that. And whereas the Chup means to having gained, having realized the object, the object of knowledge.
드니가니 냠바도 저와 토치 슈마도 시지그넬이 토치 콘도 청에데 잠발린달라 아니 토마스 슈마레스나 아니 시단에다 로틀리 몽본라문다 요리티나다 용도마조 로니동 가자 랍시 칸라네 네 자알라 템바 쫀데데 잠발린도 페버레스 궁국페네니 네가 닌잠발린 마시 위치 사바시 아니 손바레스
So given that the meaning of the literal meaning of the enlightenment, which is the as I said, the Changchup, which is the state, which is ultimate state, which is the eliminations of these true obstructions, and then which is the realizings of all the object of knowledge, knowing all the object of knowledge, and so when we think about in this like a world, who's the known to have achieved this ultimate state of enlightenment, then of course there might be many other other who might also achieve enlightenment, but the commonly, so it is to our common knowledge that over 2,500 years ago, so that the Lord, the historical Shakyamuni Buddha, had achieved that state of enlightenment.
Tene na chisaba karsun yorsena, ne zo kisunya de karsene dome tawa de sumbares. Then chone de mape ngela ni loston zoji grila ni dome tawa do tela sa do singe yeme tela ni jewa jinge mombo chumbares. E chumba ina yo de zoga ni do singe ti yore yo mache pimbola mate bi ni rongwa. O tindi yore sine tindi gata rimunda wa moboji jingi chumbares. Loston rila.
No. So, and then after achieving enlightenment, then the Lord Buddha then founded a new doctrines, new teachings, which is known as the Buddhism. So he founded the Buddhist doctrines, and so in Buddhist doctrines, then the one of the main view or the philosophy is on this concept of or the view of selflessness, which is the very important, one of the main view of the Lord Buddhas, and so because before that, prior to the Buddha's introduction of this view of selflessness, so there was probably it goes back over 3,000 years that there's a strong held view of a self, concept of a self.
Johnny de Juni Karasumbarsena, Johnny de Jug singete any Pimbola Matepi Rujawaji, Yona, Ani Tunisi Sheriana, only Lord Henshela, ne daughter Tawati, Shu Cheronone. The J. Telatene, de Cho, Shedon la Supa, Tondo la Supa, Rojichipi, ni Sheding, Tuni Yungres, and Tunizungres.
So this concept of the self, which is something which exists, outside or independent of the aggregates, the person's aggregates or aggregates, and so what we find in the Lord Buddha's teachings is that there are anyone who hold on such a view of a self, that is to some self which is independent or from the person's aggregates, and then saying that then the such stronger they want have a attachment or clinging to that self, then will the stronger or the greater force of all the mental afflictions such as the desires, hatred, jealousies, and so forth will arise.
Ni tniga ni talo mashawa ni ngajasen kondrosen la zokanga ni dot tawatiga ni tsawachine sheyung yores ni de ni tniga dog tiga ni tsawachine sheyung ate ni tembaru ni chi zine ni ta hasachi ma sheyung ni misaka chi ni anta dot tawega tniga de chola supika tsawashigresene ma chi sumbares.
So therefore, the Lord Buddha then recognize that this, in fact, this self, this concept of self, and the grasping at that independent self as the root cause for such afflictive emotions such as desires, anger, pride, jealousy and so forth to arise and to to develop, to increase, and so therefore so the Buddha therefore when Buddha taught that how this concept is in fact the Buddha was really the first to show that that this concept, the concept of the self or the self-grasping as a root cause for all the afflictive emotions.
Tembe chonende tema chonende chone toma domi pe tawa te sune shiton shi chane ne do singete ne tapa de ne tapa da ne jowa me pachi mare ne dewan denge ji du nga mndenge ani dewa ti gi che shine ne rewo ne dedu ne shepa poda ne dunga nyumba po dedu nyumba po ji go do ji sumbares
asalo
시동 수제 존는데 다음에 비가 다와 숨바레스와 다음 이나 시동 더 생기때 요레스 더 생기때 요레스 때 따빠도 때 간지가 오에 요레스나 아니 따빠도 저와 매비고 오 마임바 아니 대wan 대빠도 누가 문대게 아니 대노지 아니 대두 셰빠포도 대두 뇽바포 아니 그들이 더신 대버레스
so so we on the one hand, so we are talking about this a self, which is rejected by rejected in this whole the concept of the self, and but on the other hand, so there is the the Buddha was not saying that there is no, that nominal self or the persons, who is the creator of actions, as well as who is the experiencer of the like the experiences, and so therefore there is the by saying that. There's by rejecting this self within the context of this whole concept of the self. So we are not saying that there's no nominal or conventionally existent self, and which so there is a self, the conventional self, which wish for happiness and which do not want sufferings, and then when we look into the its entity, then it is it's not a permanent, but rather it is it is an impermanence, as an entity, or that self is impermanence loss.
다 공다 더 매지 매지고 더데 가르스나 핀볼에 대jen비 더 핀볼라마 티피크 더 대용아 찌티 더세디살라 핀보도 리그센을 봐 인저거 주사에 보지 노거래 된 호와다 맵 네 드리그 더시 준 거야 그래서 더 맵아 생기대 더 맵아 생기 더시로와 더 맵아 생기 더시로와 대 핀볼라마 템피크 더 핀볼라마 템피 핀볼에 대jen비 더 네 다 핀비가 주파는 지금 돈올라 핀비 주파도 드리기 세나 보지라 지지 인자모든 저 주사에 원하지 못돼 그러와 대 노원 오지 매봐 더 매봐서 드리질 매봐시고 그래서
but when we talk about the view of selflessness, then we are talking about about ourself, which self or I, which exists independent from or the outside of unrelated or outside of these our aggregates, and then we do, we would have such a view, such a the thought or a view of such a I, such as I or the self to exist, and then in our independent self to exist, and then as which and to our perceptions, and this self or the I either seems to have seems to exist either in association with our the whole these our aggregates as a whole, or in we will maybe identify its existence in with some the specific aggregate. So the negated self or the I, so it's something self which is outside, which is independent from the aggregate, but yet it we in our perception, so it seems to exist either within this whole the whole the combinations, or the collections of our aggregates, or or somewhere in the specific aggregates also.
원하니 시동 더에는 더데 간에나지 코나고 저거 그러잖아. 더데니 핀볼라 때네 토피. 아니 핀볼라 땡땡이. 아니 텔라 때네 토피고니 가시. 더세네 고조세네 때네 지셔고요. 그래서.
So but in generally when we, like as we said before, that there's a conventional self or the I which which is in existence, which does exist. So then and how does that exist? How it exists? Then the answer is that it exists rather by depending upon the aggregates.
제가 핀볼라 때네 토피가 따서 telle발라 때네 아니 다 때네 주와시비 지기지라 때네 네 용이거는 따와시 다 용바레스로와 따스시.
So the conventional the self or the I exists by depending on the aggregates, and as something which is the exists as something which is just imputed upon or designated upon the aggregates.
제가 다치 공다시 있나요? 아니 다 이제질 때네 잡아마도 그러 팀에 그 롱을 잡아 매바지. 아니 텔라 때네 용되고 그래서.
So therefore that self, that nominal self, is a dependent phenomena, and so likewise, so we have to understand that the all things that exist, all the object of knowledge, their existence is only by depending upon others.
제가 아니 텐데스네 셰파지 춘데 텔라니 지체지 텐데지다 아니 차셰라 티피 텐데스네야 텐데 코로나요 농세니 수준버레스.
So therefore the all object of knowledge or phenomena so are we call as are dependent origination or dependent arising, and so this we have this idea concept of the dependent arising of things, of all the things, and so we can explain these dependent arisings in two levels. That's in terms of dependent arising, in terms of depending on causes and conditions, or in terms of depending upon the parts of the things.
제정을 하받는다 가서 나지는 대외가 대화도 만대비 등알아 소파야 네 지멜레 쇼 말레스 문터비가 질레요 쇼 말레스 아니 또베가 질레 쇼요 말레스 아니 지테 케파피가 케샹조 말레스네 아 저쪽가 전에 샤지 마시 말레스
So the Buddha says that all the things are dependent originations, and so they're dependent on the so therefore there is nothing which which arises without cause, nothing which is without a cause, nor the thing do not arise if the things that depends on the cause, but it only arise from the suitable or something like a cause which is the conducive, the or like a rather the agreeable cause, and also the cause. The cause cannot be. They do not arise from a permanent cause, cause which is permanent. Nor the things are not, designed or created by some like Almighty God or some all creating God.
제장아 다 같은 대비 대화도 문대 등알아 소바로 텀비 그jel레 대시시 니파에 니파에 그 jel레 아니 드니 그 시게 인사 아니 저지 jel레 때네 쉬어레스 네 땡주 그 따와 그 돈에 시용 거레스라 대랑 땡주 그 따와 뒤 돈에니 아니 가르세나 등아 덴바스 근주 덴바스네 아니 다 문대 바스 그렇지 드니 그 등에 그 진대 니체 네, 야, 오늘 대외의 진대, 나 고피 댐바도 롱비 로지 댐바스네. 대외 진대가 쇼치체네. 네 댐바시어 노조 시스는 거랬어.
So it's really on the based on these the view of everything's been dependent originations, dependent arising, that we have to understand. We also have to understand that the happiness that we we seek, we want, and the suffering that we're trying to avoid. So these two are also depending on their own cause, and then cause as we just mentioned earlier. So they depend. These both sufferings and the happiness. So they do not arise from no cause, okay, and also the cause that which they arise must be suitable or agreeable, to the result. There's some sort of connections between the cause and the effect, some sort of suitable relationship. And then cause cannot be a permanent and so on. So therefore, likewise on the basis of this, view of the dependent arising, dependent origination, and the cause and the effect, and then we can Buddha also then taught the like a Four Noble Truth. So which the first true truth, which is really to show the cause and the effect of relating to sufferings that we do not want, whereas the next true truth, the truth of like the path, the cessation, and the path to the cessation. So these are the cause and effect of the happiness that we want to achieve.
다 드리가 덴바지되고 덴비가 토마 가와를 숨었으나 덴바니 내주 도지 된라니 nimbazuba sonje. Tene dantro kache jesalani, yavarana silpe, ni konga delani, dambajete tuma sumarta, tume titerwa, ni tepetsejila, natsutinil zugores.
So this, in fact, this teaching on Four Noble Truths. So is the main theme of the Lord Buddha's the first turning of the wheel of Dharma. So, which took place in Sarnath in India, and the disciples for that discourse on that turning of the wheel of turning of the wheel of dharmas are the five the group of five disciples are there, and so this happened. How prior to that, then when we look at the Buddha's life stories, he achieved the complete enlightenment in Bodhgayas, and then but however after achieving enlightenment, but he didn't teach for several weeks, and so therefore this today these auspicious days really marks this the turning of the first wheel of dharmas of Four Noble Truth.
제장안에 전에대지 내리순디 살아네 dunga dembato kunju demba sene mande pigani jinre chida ning gupi dembato laji demba chi mindebe ke deshi chis ne jinre ni cha ni chine sumare serwa anin depi deshi senge te ta sa chowa dewa changla ma sha wache dunga tend pomba ho tend meba zo dewa jiro te trja chine te thojal jo anin te trje je laji demba sene ne je sumare es
de khasa de just
la dunga tend po mepa big de ta ji dewa jiro dewa te trjal jo trja sene ta thojas de jo ne te trje je ta lo de ane de chine ne
dinga six ke ma debe la
저는 이제 demba jesungro wa demba jesungbana dunga ji demba to kunju demba shi mende pi dunga
alo
mende pi dungi ge jinde chachi che ani ngupi demba to laji demba sene ndewe ge deshi ge jinde chachi che jinde chani chune sumbares ani ndewe ge deshi senge de daga se chowa dewa chamares ani tent dunga tent puwa to tent mepa shi ani te djal jone thoja jone de thoje chita ta lo des
so in turning this first wheel of dharma of the Four Noble Truths, so the Buddha taught the really as I briefly mentioned earlier before, the two rounds of cause and effect. So the first round of cause and effect is in relation with the sufferings which we do not want. So, and then he taught these first two noble truth of the truth of suffering and the causes of the sufferings, and then the second round of the cause and effect is the second two truths of the truth of path and the truth of the cessations. So which are the round of the so here which are the round of the cause and the effect of the happiness that we want, and so just we need to take note that here when it says the happiness that we want, so here it's not talking about the happiness like some temporary happiness, like some sensual pleasures, but rather the talking about the ultimate and the everlasting state of happiness.
Teunta thuma ni dunga ngote disala ni chonde ne mape khala ni ta mate pese chulu jemba so 아니 둥아치 둥아테 둥아이 뭐 ngote 볼래 아니 늦게치 둥아테 아니 둥아이 ngote 타요 말해서 아니 체와도는 인제위 둥아 생기죠 인제위 둥아테 둥아이 뭐 지거르데 you 데 둥아이 뭐 미라테 디살피 다시 바지 데 둥아이 뭐 ngote 타요 말해서
so the way or the to extend which to extend to which the Lord Buddha explained the full knowledge of the suffering, of the truth of the sufferings, has before Buddha has nobody has was able to explain that or to understand that. And so, like prior to the Buddhas, or there may be some other who who understood the of the three types of sufferings. There's the first level of suffering, which is the suffering of sufferings. They understood, they might recognize that, and then however they have a very partial understanding of the second level of the suffering, which is the suffering of change, which they understood only to a certain limited the extent, but really they didn't fully understand the full meaning of that, the suffering of change. But as to the third one, nobody understood, never understood that, which is the pervasive, the conditioning of sufferings, almost. All pervasive condition of suffering.
Pena ngazo dewe yeterjila chodebin dewe nimu de choda. Ani de choti jeshi ni shedon la supashi yunge yawato. Ani tinigin de chota to shedon la supala ani shian de tatgiyore. Inaya ani tinigin de chota shedon la supa gunen ju gija donzala ani shian de tatgiyo mares.
So, for example, there may be others who can recognize the downfalls of the such afflictive emotions, such as some hatred and jealousies and so forth. But however, they lack the understanding of this, that how these are rooted in the self-grasping, or the concept of the self.
제가 전년대 전에 중앙 것에 뒤살아니 다 도든 준비 제시네 델라테네니 대처도 시도 공로라 소반 유그레 해서네 네 중앙피 못에 뒤살 다시 마시 중앙 콜렌주이자 짜와짜와데미 다시 마시 못에 놓여야래서 대마제 네 말이 도든 잡아도 말이 비 온기 쉬미 맞지 핀보 되오네 중앙에서 중앙에 말해서네.
So in explaining the truth of sufferings, so the Lord Buddha went not only the suffering that we in the form of pain or whatever that we actually experience, but we went as far as to all the layers of the causes of the sufferings, until he to the as far as to the most subtle cause and the root cause of the suffering. So Buddha was able to explain that to when he explained the sufferings, and also to the point where Buddha said even in fact the aggregate that we have, the sentient being have, is the truth of the sufferings.
제장아 다 도든 좀바디 제시네 다 제시그러지 네 신절로위로 베나 무종와라 종왕 셴바다 아니 둥가라 대와 셴바다 아니 못다발라 다와 셴바다 다메발라 도드 셴빌로 신절로 아니 dunga sheyung 그래서네 아니 더니즈마 dun가데 못되고 그래서
so the Buddha said said that the root cause so is this self-grasping and then the also Buddha explained how the cause is also the cause of the suffering is also the related associated with our wrong view of how of holding on something that is like unclean, that is impure as pure, and something that is sufferings miserable as the happiness and joyful, and then something that is impermanent as holding them as a permanent, and like then the things which are something which is which is empty of like a self as as a self, as an independent self. So explaining the explanation, so Buddha's explanation of the truth of suffering, so is also so based on all these different levels of the causes of the sufferings as well.
제장안에 곤드 셰베다 디 dunga sombote요. 아니 지체라 때네 쉬워래서. 아니 다 지체대요. 다 짓다빠지나나. 아니 같이 아니 곧 레오테 는 저와통 타야요 말이서. 그래서나 짓다빠 그런 저와통 타야면서 아니 레오테 저와통 타야요 말이서. 이나요. 는 레오 dunga 셰버테. 아니 짓다빠실에 쉬워마이 techi newan yuwa la tene shuwa, jichen la tene shuwa isa, jilan jewan rowa di tsechi, rewala dungan rowa tene, ta ngipi shil chade yo resa. Dona ane dunga te jichen la tene shewa to, te isa jiche te maduna tiyung ki shiyun rewala du mutawa te, ane tembe sumba resa rawa.
So the it is all the like three types of sufferings. So these are all arise from their from the causes and conditions, and so therefore all the sufferings arise because of so they arise from causes and conditions because everything is dependent originations, and then when we the take into account of the causes and conditions, then these causes and conditions then cannot be a permanent or like a unchanging or a static, because if it is something, for example, if the cause is something unchanging and permanent, then it's it cannot have any impact, had any effect on the result, and so because it's not impermanence, because it's not a permanence, the cause from which the things arise is not permanent, but because it's rather is impermanent, because it changes. So the changes in the cause will also it has the effect on in the changes of the result, and so therefore we can see how the link between the cause and the effect, such that in terms of like the cause of the suffering, if we eliminate the causes, then then the suffering will not arise from that, and so it has the changing the cause of suffering, and then it also has the effect on its result. So this is why this is so. Is simply because this is the cause of the nature, and this is which is that the things are dependent originations.
제장 아주다 레우 둥아 만데나 아니 디 jet제치네 저 뭐네 도그래 제수네 원아 제때 가능지나 아니 디 제때네 근주된 비시 그래스네 아니 근주된 봤으면 거래스.
So it is when you if things are arise from cause and conditions, and so therefore the sufferings which we do not want to arise from its own causes and conditions. So and then if that is the case, then if we think about what are the causes and conditions of suffering, then this is where then the Buddha taught the second noble truth, which is the truth of the cause of the sufferings.
다들이 디체와제 손상가려 니치 도마시고 디테라 니 덴바시도 전에 마 노치진 것에 니 셰케잖아 보지 이나다다 미차마소니 제라 만타라 니 자나다 디세 조사소 아니 만타네 마 시에트니 트니칼레 론세나 만도지레스로와.
Yeah. So just today, because of this the auspicious day of the turning of the wheel of dharmas, and so because it's a very special auspicious day, so I take this opportunity for our discussion to touch on this Four Noble Truth, and so we have covered a little bit of that, and but I think we finished the time, and we'll hopefully we continued in the next week teaching. Thank you.
Shonju senju rinpoche ma she pa no she she wa nyam ba me pa kune kunda